Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the second in a series. I thought it was going to be a solo video. I had so much fun making a scrappy journal cover earlier today that I decided to make another one while I still have all this nonsense spread out. So what I'm doing is I'm going through my scraps and sorting them, and I made a pile of fall colors as I went, and we're going to make that journal. I'll try and remember to link to the prior one so you can hear all what was the logic on this journal and how did it come to be. And I'm going to skip all that this time because these are cut so small. I think this one will go together faster, I'm hoping. It's not going to be as cute as the red, white, and blue one. Let's not kid ourselves. Now, it's not dry yet, but one thing that I can tell you is I should have used more fabric. I should have layered it more. I think I did a fine job stitching, but maybe that's as we go, we'll just overlap more, is the word I'm looking for. Because there were some places where I just feel like it got skimpy and stuff showed. Now, the other thing is I used an all-white fabric and an all-white background. So maybe when it dries and I actually look at it, that's not what happened. I'm getting kind of like log cabin-ish. No, log cabin doesn't have triangles, does it? And I have started a million projects. Well, not a million, but scraps. I have fabric scraps and paper scraps spread out. And is that smart to pull out both of your tiniest scraps on the same day and go to it? No, probably not. But I just felt like December 26th was this free bonus day and I was going to make it count. And I know it's Boxing Day. I don't know if we do Boxing Day in the US. It just happened to be an extra day off work for me, and I thought, well, I'm gonna get my money's worth out of this day. So that's what we're doing, and we are using up my friend Katie's scraps. While the camera was off, I not only got out all the paper scraps and started a whole other video. That's for another day, right? But I was sorting, and I think I've gone all the way through, but you always say that and then you turn around and find another pile. And sorted Katie's scraps so that I sorted them into, I want to keep, so mostly blue, and I want to put in my Facebook go away group. No buy is what it's called. There's a lady in there that makes gnomes, I think, and there's a couple of junk journalers, so I think that somebody will want them if Kara doesn't, which she shouldn't take because she already told me her craft room is like mine. Anyway, and then I have things I want to keep and things that should go away. And then I made the fall. So this is my last one. Now, some of these, I might have like a lot of this pinky mauve mixed in, and that's a little borderline for me. I don't think I want to use those, but if we get color family desperate, we could. I'd rather use a bunch of these tannish triangles than all that. Don't think that I want to put threads on the top like I did on the last one. I think I just want it to be a little messy, but not actual threads. I think those are going to cause some complexities. Look at all these. I am trying to do a better job overlapping them, not just laying them next to each other. I think I did have some troubles. I think these ones that aren't ironed aren't good. So I'm going to bring the iron closer. A lot of these scraps are from before Katie started obsessively starching everything, which I'm in love with, by the way. It's really working out nicely for me. One thing that I didn't mention is the first one, the red, white, and blue one, shrunk a ton. This white fabric was brand spanking new, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was like Joanne quality fabric. So that caused a delay because I went, oh, I want to make another one, but I knew that I wanted to wash and dry this white fabric. That's one of the complexities as you get into mixed media or other textiles. You have more wait time than when you're just paper. Paper is always ready to go, isn't it? Doesn't need to be washed, dried, flattened, evaluated. Whew, that is some intense orange. It is a fall color though. This one almost looks like acorns. Okay, before I get too much of that bright orange, I'm gonna come in here with some of these darker browns. Can you see that? No, you can't quite see the pile. Let's move it over. So, and then we have like these. I made some journal covers with these already. I know I like these fabrics, so let's use some of these too. A little more classic, I think, or maybe just a little more classy. I don't mind a touch of red. We got to be careful about this mauve though. Wine is one thing, mauve is a whole other situation. I like having all these triangles just because it adds some fun. So if you're a quilter and you have a lot of triangles, I'm going to throw in some green, even though it's bright, just because I think you have to have a little bit of green in your fall. And then this is a super barfy mustard yellow, but it did make a nice fall journal cover. One thing I had a little trouble with was I went over the edge quite a bit, and then when I went to sew, I didn't know where the edge was. So I sort of missed on a couple of them. I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's just, oh, that's a learning curve. So I'm going to try and do a better job stopping at the edge of the fabric this time and not trying to overlap it so far. Be miserly with the fabrics, but really spreading them out. Oh, here's a good green. And it has some leaves on it. So it was fun. I mean, I expected it to not be as fun as it was. Ooh, this is a little spring greeny. I think I'm gonna stay away from this. And this one's a bit blue-green. I got a lot of different green tones going on. This one kind of reads blue too, doesn't it? Let's skip that one. I thought it was like a nice dark green, but it's not really. This one is a metallic green. Is that weird for fall? Yeah, we're doing it. It's the right color. It's a nice dark green. It's very nature. Let's call them flecks of gold, and then it makes sense because we've got green and gold in here. You duck fans, calm down. Just calm yourself. There we go. This should not be here. This needs to go out of my life. Yeah, clearly I had some oopses in here. Okay, this one with the polka dots, I am going to use. I'm going to take the white off of it since we're doing fall. There's quite a bit of it too, which I don't know if I need that much, but I just think it'll add some fun. And it brings in a lot of color that I already have here. You like my fancy pieces? I think that's what it's all about here. I actually liked the sewing part too. I thought it would be hard, miserable. I sped this part up because I thought it was just getting boring. It was boring for me, and I thought it would be boring for you. So I sped it up, and I just laid things out as well as I could. And on this one, I put it a lot thicker than I did on the red, white, and blue. I thought the more I overlapped, the better. And I really had a great time layering it up. And I was trying to make sure that the white wasn't going to show through. If you do one of these, I highly recommend that you use a fabric in the back that would be great and complement your project. Like for this one, if I'd had a brown or a muslin to use, that would have been great. On my other one, the white showing through wasn't really the end of the world. In a couple places, I actually used white, so I don't think it matters, and I probably don't need to patch it. So just something to keep in mind as you lay it out. And then what I found was when I stitched on this brown one, sorry, it is a circus here. Zelda is awake. And when the baby cat is awake, you never know what's going on. And then Zeus is playing with his decrepit crinkle turtle. The crinkle duck has since passed on and had to go. There was nothing left and it was no longer safe. So he's back to the crinkle turtle with the squeaker in it. He's really hard on toys for such a little guy. Anyway, I do plan to make you a video of the pets. It is a circus here, and I just think that would be a fun video for the new year. You can see I'm just laying them out, and I had a great time. I really enjoyed laying them out. That was super fun. I might have even had more fun on the second one because I had all these tiny pieces and all these triangles, and I have now passed the bag of scraps on to Kara, so I hope that she enjoys whatever she does with them and doesn't think, why would Sarah do this to me? Is she mad? Just lay them out, have lots of fun. You can see I just kept taking out the pinks and the magentas and backing away from those. I had a lot of orange that I just wasn't too sure about, especially bold white. I left out the ones that had orange patterns with white on them. I just thought it was too much for me. Sorry, usually the squeaking is only like a minute or two, so I thought he would move on, but we're having an attention competition tonight, so we're probably gonna have to go watch TV and snuggle pretty soon. The polka dots, I absolutely love the polka dots coming in on this. I probably shouldn't have been so lazy and should have made them in shapes similar to the rest of the items on there so that the scraps didn't stand out, but it gives you an idea. Then I tidied up all the rest of them, said, nope, I don't think I want that. Looked around, just, one last, okay, did I get everything? For me, I'm so messy. It does help if I tidy up my workspace a little just to be sure that I got everything right before I move on, because I found some more green that I wanted and I swapped out some Christmassy greens with some gold on them that I had put that they were marginal, but I really wanted green in my fall project. Then putting the cover over it, and I'm going to pin it all down. And then I'm going to show you the brand new one. It is dry. It's probably been like a week. And stitched like crazy. And this one was interesting. I thought I was super cool, and I piled everything higher. I have already patched a couple of spots on here because I have a lot of holes. I used more and more stuff, but I have more holes. I've probably patched like 3 sections already, and I have a lot more to do. I don't know. I might use glue. I might just call it. Here's what I learned on the second one. So the first one, I was feeling so cool, had a great time. My fabric underneath matched, so I didn't have to worry about that. And the second one, it didn't, so that's why I would recommend that. Also, when I piled it up, I understood what they were talking about with the, I think it's called a floating foot, because I stitched my edge, then I didn't pay attention as I was zigging and zagging, so I was probably throwing the stuff around too much. But also because I had so much stuff piled, the foot shuffled it. So I ended up with more holes, even though I used more fabric and thought I was super cool because I was going to cover it all. Does that make sense? So like a bunch of these, I've tried patching. Here's what I learned. I don't like the patching part. That is not fun at all. Definitely recommend using a back that you want to show. I probably had fall fabric and could have done that. I just didn't want to sacrifice it because I didn't realize I would be saving myself from pain. There's something strange going on behind me. It involves a cardboard box and a competition between 2 kittens. Be careful about how much you pile on. I mean, I had a lot of layers, but they moved. And then, like, hello, if you're good at sewing, you probably remember this. Stitch your edge and then pay attention. Don't just be going wadding it up to, get all crazy in the first bit. Like, do some gentle zigging and zagging, and then if you have to roll it up to fit it through and make rounded corners, go for it. I think on this one, I was so busy. If you look at the back, you can see. I didn't love when I went to the edge like this and then bounced out. So on this one, I was really focused on making rounded things as much as I could until I went back and just had to patch it. And I lost track of, hello, go easy on it or your stuff's all going to move on the front. Because I was just like, wheeling and dealing and spinning it around. I would do it again. I would make sure my back fabric matched. And what I've come to the conclusion that I now have made 2 unfinished objects. I don't have any plans right away to finish either one of them. I think Andrea said she likes the fall one better. This one is my love. The red, white, and blue one is really the one that speaks to me. I like that I didn't iron, so it has a little more texture. This one, it was much flatter except for the chaos of sewing on it. And I love the silver thread that I threw on the top and sewed over. And I don't know how well that shows on camera, but I just love the silver. And if you're like me and you thought, oh, I absolutely have to have metallic threads, and then they just don't hold up very well to sew through all the crazy stuff I sew through. Plus, I'm very often too lazy to make a bobbin that matches, in which case the weights don't match and it breaks more. This is a great way to enjoy my metallic thread and not have to actually sew with it. This one, I probably should have thrown some gold on the top. I just wanted to see which way I would like it. With as much patching as I did and have done on this one, the gold probably would have gotten covered up. But I think overall the red, white, and blue one is my favorite. Color bias for sure. I'll use them both. Neither one of them has trashed me. You know that. I'll make things work. Try it if you thought it was cool. If not, don't. You could always use glue. There's no rule that says you can't use glue. I was toying with the idea, use glue to patch some of these. Because I think if I used maybe art glitter glue, or if I used, what's it called? Beacon's 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac, I bet it wouldn't show. I could just like patch it in here a little and put it on there. I just wanted to wrap this video up and get this stuff off the counter. If you've been around a while, you know that when the board is on the counter, there's a whole other layer down there. I've got some problems here to work through. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're taking time for crafting and relaxing. I'll be back again this week, probably on Friday the 12th, with a video. It's a new series called Clear It Out. If you're one of my members, you've heard about it. If you're a subscriber and you haven't been in our Zooms, I'll fill you in on the 12th. Bye-bye.